Hi, guys. How are you? How is everybody tonight? Welcome, everyone who is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on. And please share this. Please share this live. I invite all of you guys into the conversation tonight. We're going to continue with our vision planning that we have been working on. And so I'm excited about that. So definitely invite your friends and share this, invite people, because the more people that are here, the more enriched the conversation can be. So I hope you guys have been having a good week. Please say hello. Let me know who's here. Feel free, just say hi, put a comment. I want to know who's here so I can say hello to you guys, and acknowledge you guys for coming and spending this time with me. So tonight we're going to continue our conversation on what we had started last week, and that is on vision planning. And so we know that it is so important for us to write the vision, write the plan. We can't just assume that the goals and the things that we want to accomplish, they're just going to happen. Nothing just happened. We have to put in work. We have to put in effort. We have to put in energy. Hi, Ruthie. How are you? Welcome tonight. And so we have to put things in the mix to kind of help us put things in the right perspective. And so last week, we started on vision planning because when we did our Ask a Therapist a couple of weeks ago, we landed on a subject on vision planning and goals. And so last week we started to talk a little bit about vision plans for our lives. And then I shared this document. And let me see if I can actually pull this up so I can put that in a comment, so that you guys who are here tonight can actually access that. Okay. So it should be in, and let me put it also in the Sandra Garcon. Where are you here? Where's me? Sandra Garcon, okay, right here. Why is that not? Okay, I see me. All right. You have to put things in the mix to kind of help us put things in the right perspective. All right, so let me put a comment in here. Paste. So that you guys can have access to the document that we have been working on. Okay. All right, so you guys have the document, you have access to it. So let's start back our conversation, and let me actually share it. Share my screen so that we can get into, let's see which one I'm sharing. I'm sharing, and we gotta go Chrome. This one right here. Okay. So you guys are you guys able to see? Yep. You guys are able to see our document that we started last week. So Dr. Cindy Trim created this vision planning kind of like guide to creating a good vision plan for yourself. It has 12 sections. And last week we talked about the personal identity, and we talked about companionship and relationship. And so those are very important things for us to begin to address. You, can have access to what? The link. You're not able to pull up the link. I see Ruthie says she can't have access. I apologize. Is it to the link for the because it's right here on the screen. If you email me afterwards, I can even send you a copy, but it's on the screen if you're not able to, because I just copied the link and put it on there. So we had talked about personal identity, how important it is for us to identify things about us that we like, our weaknesses, our strength, and the things that we would like to accomplish and the things that we envision for ourselves. It is so important. And we know that these things shift and change um, along with us. So the things that we desire, maybe like one of the questions about a house or a car, we may had wanted a particular car, and all of a sudden we see something else and that shifted. Uh, and so we want to make sure um, that we understand that these some of these goals are growing and developing with us. As we get more insight, as we get more wisdom, as we strengthen the areas of our weaknesses, we begin to see other areas of weaknesses that we can strengthen. So the work of developing us is a lifelong journey work. I say this all the time. None of us have arrived anywhere. We are all work in progress. And so, no matter where you are in your journey, don't feel ashamed, don't feel some kind of way. You are where you are. However, that doesn't mean that's where you're remaining, because that's where you are right now. So trust the process and trust God that He will walk with you through your process of getting you to where He needs you to be. And in the interim, don't feel funny about where you are. Embrace where you are. When we do the, what do you call it, when I do the morning tea, which we're delayed with the morning tea, so I have to still figure out, I'm waiting to hear more from God on how to reinvent morning tea. One of the things that we said at the beginning, the intro, is this is the day that the Lord has made, and I have decided that I will choose to rejoice and be glad in it and in the me that I am. And so that is very important, that we decide to honor where we are at the moment. And so it is a choice to appreciate and honor us for where we are, not where we want to be. Sometimes when you think about goals and you talk about goals with people, there's such a push like, okay, where I want to be, the person I should have been. Sometimes we feel like, oh my goodness, we're so delayed in life that we are not where we should have been. The reality, we are where we are because a lot of times our choices, and that's a hard thing to hear, our choices put us in the place where we are. If we don't put certain disciplines in place, then we remain in the place. I had heard a definition of crazy, and that definition of crazy was doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That's crazy. We don't want to be crazy. We want to be intentional about the goals that we're creating and developing for our lives, you know? And so let's start into this. Let me pull it down a little bit more so that you guys can see, because we did the personal identity and companionship last week. So let's get into some of the other ones. Okay. And let me increase this so that it could be greater on the screen. Okay. So as we look at now today, family, intermediate family, and an extended family. So thinking about, oftentimes I hear clients and I hear people talk about how important and how valuable family is to them. And that, but yet their actions and their behaviors do not support that narrative. I'm doing everything for my family. They're working 24/7. They never are able to create time to spend with their children, time to spend with their spouse. Yet family is the most important thing. And so we want to be mindful this year that we're not speaking um, things that our actions cannot support. If family is a priority, because a lot of people say that family is a huge priority for them, then we need to change our behavior so that in our actions, it is evident that family is very important. And so For years, for over 10 years as a therapist, I've worked with kids. And even before I was a therapist, being a social worker, working with clients for over almost 15 years, working in different sectors of society down in Florida and also here in Massachusetts, and working with a lot of children and teens while the parents are killing themselves working night and day. When I sit down with these teens and with these children, what they're saying the most is not how grateful they are for the PS, whatever that their Nintendo or the new game that they have or their room, the bike, and all the different stuff that they have, their new phones that they have. That's not what they're saying that they're so grateful and so happy about. They're talking about how much they're not able to spend with their families. They're talking about wanting to spend more time with mom and dad is never around. They're talking about feeling neglected and not feeling loved because their parents, whom they love, are not around because their parents oftentimes feel they need to do so much to prove to their children that they love them. And that is through working so hard to give them things that they may not need. And so we want to be mindful as parents that when we say that our family is priority, that our behavior reflects that. Okay, so what about favorite family traditions? So when you're thinking about planning and goal planning around family, so some of the questions that are coming up on here says, what are your favorite family traditions? Some families don't have any of that. Some families every birthday they get together. Um, every certain event that they're coming together, and they do certain things together. So I know one of my families that I work with, she was saying how her and her husband, they don't have any children yet. Every Christmas, they're up, they set up time to spend with their family, to go to his side of the family and her side of the family. But before they do that, that they wake up and they spend some time in prayer together and they go to the movies. It doesn't matter what movie they're playing, they go and spend some time at a movie and just hang out. That's a tradition. So when they have their children, one of the things that they will continue doing is for Christmas morning, wake up, time with God, go to the movies together. It's simple, but it's a memory that can be passed on. What about family values? Some of you guys are head of households. You guys are the ones in your family, maybe family values and things like that were not big in your, growing up family, but in your own family, you married, you have children. What are the values within your family? So if I were to come and ask your children, what are the things that your parents value the most? Would they even know? Would your children know as parents? For your children who's a little bit older and have better understanding, if I were to ask your children, what are some of the things that your parent value in this family? What is huge and important? Would they know? Sometimes we assume they know, but they don't because we don't often include them in that process. Having family time where you guys are sitting together having dinner. Some families don't do it. And it's so huge. I remember growing up, excuse me, and in my family of origin, we didn't do that. We didn't sit down and have dinner together. And I remember I was a Jehovah's Witness at that time, and I remember the Gillettes. going to the Gillettes for every Sunday. They had dinner. They had dinner. We would get together and they'd cook big meals and sit down for dinner every Sunday. That was my extended family because I love going to sit and have dinner at their house because I thought that was so awesome and so incredible that families can come together and sit and have dinner. Um, so we want, and that's what they did every Sunday. That was huge to them. And I appreciated that. And I wanted to develop that also in my family because there's a lot of things sometimes we see growing up in our families of origins. And we're like, you know what? Mm-mm. When I get older, I'm going to this. My family is not going to be like this. I'm going to create this. I'm going to create that. I'm going to this, do all these different things. But we forget and we don't set those things up. And so that's what I want to encourage you guys in on family heritage. What is your family's story? What legacy are you developing and building as a family? What are you passing down to your children? Those are important when you begin to think about creating goals surrounding your family and asking some of these important questions for you to develop those particular goals. Then we talk about personal growth. That's for your growth. So you have to understand that you must never abandon the idea of growing and learning. You must continue to develop yourself. Continue developing yourself. In this particular document, you'll see in the other areas, they are personal growth as well. And so they may be divided into subjects, but they do fall into growth because that is the responsibility as a human being that we continue to grow, that we don't get stuck in one particular place, that we do not have the mentality that we have somehow arrived. We have not arrived anywhere. And I don't care how much money you have, how much resources, fame, fortune, followers, whatever. No one has arrived anywhere on earth. We are all work in progress. And so we don't want to make the mistake of looking at people and think because they have a particular station or a particular thing in life. So, for example, um, a single person, you think, okay, when I get married, I've arrived. Okay, when you get married, there's a whole nother level of work. Okay, because marriage is so challenging. It is so challenging, let me tell you. And the reason it's so challenging and so difficult is because you have two individuals, two adults who are, hi, Patricia, welcome. So you have two adults who just sometimes think they just know it all and just know the direction they want for their life, and they each have their own ideals and ideas and how things should be, and now you're trying to merge these two people together. I had heard it said that the only way, because scripture says that, you will leave your wife and you'll leave your husband, sorry, your mother. You'll leave your mother and your father, and you will gravitate to your wife, and the two of you guys will become one. The only how the one happened is when both of you guys died to your own wills, on your own ways of how you think things should be. Once you die to that, then there's a possibility of you becoming one. And so don't make the assumption that certain growth in a particular area, that you've reached a goal or a particular milestone, that indicates arrival. That simply indicates the next level for you to pursue. So then we're going into plan educational goals. What are you doing to continue to develop yourself educationally? Some of you guys, right now, this week, no, last week actually, I started back my doctorate program. I took a semester off that ended up, originally took a semester off, and it was supposed to be a semester off that was like almost a year and a half. So now I'm back in school. And it is hard, let me tell you. Hard, not, yes, the work is hard. In addition to the work being hard, just having my mind back to school is so hard. It is so very hard. I have a statistics class. First of all, if any of you guys are good in statistics, I need help. Okay, so I'm taking a statistics class, and we have an assignment, and I have to pick a particular topic this week, and then something that has a lot of data. And the assignment sounds very clear, and it looks very clear, but I don't even know the beginning point. And he's talking about all this data, and I'm like, Jesus, let this man speak English because I don't know what he's talking about. So if any of you guys are really good in statistics and math, that kind of statistics and stuff like that, please DM, send me a message. I really need help because this class is 8 weeks. Okay. And so they have crammed everything that I should have known in the last 3, 4 years into 8 weeks. And please pray for me. So, school is important. It's, yeah, you feel me, Patricia? It's ridiculous. So if you're good in math or know somebody who's good in math, please give them my number because I'm not fronting. I need help because I don't even know where to begin with this class. Um, and it's a requirement for my program. So, anyways, continue growing in your educational pursuit. Your educational pursuit doesn't have to be going back to get a master's or bachelor's, or it could be getting your high school diploma, your a bachelor's, associate's degree, a master's degree, a doctorate degree. It could be a certificate program. It could just simply be educational learning for your own personal development. Sometime this year, I plan on releasing um, an online university that deals with personal, spiritual, and professional development. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be able to release. We have our first program that I'm working on. It's a 12-week program that I'm working on okay, I'm not working on it as much as I should be working on it, but I gotta situate what this class is about before I can really dive more into this. But anyways, that's what I'm hoping to develop for this year. So that will be available to you guys sometime this year. But anyways, whatever it is, even if you are, a lot of you guys on YouTube, you could be sitting there watching stupid videos of monkeys dancing. Not that you don't need some of that sometimes just to just rest your mind and just take some stress out of your mind, but you could be watching some educational stuff. A lot of you guys are at home a little bit more. Could you, your Netflix have hi Betty, welcome. Netflix has what do you call it? Documentaries. There are different things you need to be doing, you can be doing to continue to grow um, educationally. How do you enrich your life? What are your plans for enriching your life, for making your life full? Books. I'm not a big reader. I wish I was. My sister, I have a sister, two of my sisters, Joe and Kimmy, especially Joe. She run through books like nothing. Like, where do you have time? But anyways, some people make time for what is important to them. Okay, so I push myself to read. I'm just not so successful at it. But I got plenty chapters and stuff to read for school. But anyways, it's important to add certain books into your library. Seminars are also important. They may sound boring or whatever, but you should be going into different seminars, especially if you're a professional. You should be learning what's going on, what's the latest that's happening within your field. As a licensed therapist, I have to do 30 hours of training every 2 years, just to make sure that I'm staying on top of what's happening in my field, because it's a field that is growing and developing really fast. So you want to make sure your personal growth, things that you're doing to enlarge your mind, increase your capacity. You don't want to be um, in circles where people are talking about nothing that's enriching, nothing that's not developing. That's insane. Yes, you need to hang out. Sometimes you need Pookie and them to, talk and just laugh about nothing. But you also need other people that's talking about what's going on in the news, that are giving some analytical thought process over what's happening, that they are analyzing data, like this data I'm supposed to so this data I'm supposed to be analyzing for class. Anyways, so there are people that are doing things that are increasing them academically, intellectually, so that when they sit in the circles that they really want to sit in, they don't feel crazy, they don't feel stupid, they don't feel like, oh my God, like I don't think I should be here. I know what they're talking about. I can communicate with them. Your career. So the question is, what would you do if you knew you would never fail? And so, what some of you guys are in the line of work that you love. I love social work. I love serving people. And I've learned over the years there's so many different ways to do it. And so I'm grateful for the line of work that I'm in. I'm grateful to sit and walk with clients through challenging and difficult um, moments in their lives. That's what I do in my private practice. Um, work with clients that's going through trauma, that's going through depression, anxiety, that are going through stress, that are going through divorces and loss of loved ones, and all these different traumatic, emotionally traumatic experiences that we go through, walking with people through that process. I love doing that. I love doing this. I am a teacher by nature. I have this teaching anointing, so to speak, and I love to be able to break things down. And so today what we're talking about, for those of you guys who are coming on, we're talking about vision plans. It's so important for you to write a vision plan. Don't worry that 221 looks still kind of look crazy. I know 2020 looked very crazy, and 221 hasn't looked like it shifted too much yet. But you don't need to wait for 2021 to look normal to you for you to begin setting up goals for your life in various areas of your life, because that's how you create your own normal. Don't look into what's going around in the world to determine your normalcy. Create it by developing some goals. So think about, your the vision for your life, and in terms of your career. If you're working at a job that you don't care for, you don't like, you're not happy there, okay, look for something different. And in looking for something different, you may have to upgrade your education, or look for a different way to do it. And some people are there and, at jobs like, oh my goodness, these people don't know what they're doing. Okay, maybe that's why you're there. Maybe that's why God sent you there. Because if everybody else don't know what they're doing and you know what you're doing, that's why you're there, to set the example, not complain. God is sending out so many of us who serve Him, who love Him, into the marketplace to hold positions of authority and power so that we can be light for Him. It doesn't mean we're going in those places and we're preaching the whole office down, but praying for the people there in your own time. You see how Becky look crazy and act crazy all the time, and she's doing stuff that's not right. Okay, pray for Becky. Something is going on in Becky's life that make her not be able to separate her job and her personal life. That all her personal business is in the job. Something is wrong. Pray for Becky. Pray for people that are being challenged. Hi, Eddie. Welcome. So as you guys are coming in, please share. So you're there to be light. If you feel you got your stuff together, you at that particular job, you don't like it. You may not like it because of your perception of it. if you would change your perception of the purpose of why you are there, it may shift the whole thing for you. Your job has to be more than you getting a paycheck. It has to be more than you getting a paycheck. It has to be about also being light. If you're a Christian, God needs you to be light. If everybody in there just in darkness and craziness, God has to send light. He has to have a representation in those places so that you, as the king and priest, you, as the one who have the authority to speak on behalf of God and begin to speak the purposes and the will of God into the earth. Your kingdom come on earth as it is as in heaven. Um, you're the one that is responsible or tasked with identifying what does it look like in heaven and how do I make that transfer on the earth? How do I establish it? So that in your workplace, you are light. You're not part of everybody who's cutting down, oh, that's bad talking the business, because you're bad talking your own blessing. Oh, this job ain't no good. They ain't this, they ain't that. Okay, begin to pray what should be though. Begin to declare and decree what should be. That's why you're there, not just for a paycheck. You're there to be a better example. And yes, it's hard. Nobody told you being a good example was going to be easy, but it builds up your character. So, and if you're being light and doing what you need to do, you still don't have peace at where you are, then go find something that is different. Find something that is healthy. Take the risk. But you do not get to not make efforts to grow and then complain. Okay? Because that's one of the things, I'm a straight shooter with my clients because I think if you're going to spend the time and the money, because you pay me $200 an hour for my time. Um, so if you pay me this kind of money, I'm going to be straight with you, very straight with you. You don't get to complain about things you refuse to change. Period. If you refuse to change, do not complain about it, be quiet. And so this is pushing you to really start to think about your role and responsibility at that job beyond the responsibility that they have given you. Your presence have to speak something greater in that environment. If they are acting all crazy in that environment and you show up and there's nothing about you that changes the environment, that pushes them to start acting right, then you're just like them. Don't complain. If I'm not a thief and I come in the midst of a bunch of thieves who's talking about how they stole this, stole that, they know I'm not a thief, and I walk in their presence. All this joking around about stealing shuts down because my presence and because they know that I'm not a thief, because they know I'm integrous, my presence check them really quickly. They're no longer comfortable to talk about something that is not, that they know, oh, yeah, she's one of these honest people. So we can't be talking all this. It's no longer fun for them to talk about it. So they're not going to do it. So if they're cutting up in your job, hi, Denise, welcome. So if they're cutting up in your job and doing things that's inappropriate and you're around, they continue doing them because there is something about you that has made them feel comfortable to behave the way they behave. So you can't go talking about, oh, these people, they're doing it around you with no problem. So you are called an accomplice. And so think about that as we, so let's move on. So there's more, there's about 12 of them. So let's go more into this. Um, all right. So now we're looking at networks. So all these areas, are areas that you want to begin to think about in creating goals for yourself. Okay. And so it's networks. So your ideal network or network is really dealing with the group of people and things that either improve you or just keep you where you are. So that's dealing with friendships, professional networks, alliances, and partnerships. Okay. Friendships. We got to go back to understanding what it really means to be a friend. There's too many posts on social media talking about how people are fake. They ain't a real friend. They ain't loyal. You know, these this ain't loyal. These that ain't loyal, and blah 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 blah. And we go on and on and on and on. And we keep posting these things. Um, because you're so loyal. Now, I want to just kind of talk about this loyalty thing. So there are people who talk about how loyal they are, yet they keep people around them that are disloyal. So it is no wonder people are not loyal around you. They're not loyal to you because they have seen you be disloyal to you. If I am a loyal person and I value that, and I have people around me that are disloyal, and I keep them around me, I've been disloyal to me. Therefore, they will follow suit. And so, people treat you the way they see you treat your own self. If you're cheating me, abusing me, taking from me, and doing all this different stuff, and I'm still laughing and with you, I've taught you you can do what you did to me. Why would you be loyal? Why would you be loyal to me? Where I have demonstrated to you that I am not loyal to my own self. So we got to clarify. If I don't know how to show myself loyalty, then people cannot really give it to me because people treat me the way they see me treat myself. There might be a loyal person who come into your life and they keep seeing you be disloyal to you. Eventually they will start being disloyal to you or they will walk away from you. If it's not within them to be disloyal, they will walk from away from you. But if it's in them, they'll just become disloyal to you. So loyalty is what you are to yourself first. In your actions, how you fighting for yourself, how you take care of yourself, how you loving yourself. If you cannot demonstrate that and people walk in your life and see, okay, there's some people, their makeup is constantly on flip. They just oh my God, from top, their clothes, they smell good, everything is right. They loyal to an appearance. Very loyal. You will never catch them not looking right. They will spend whatever money they got to make sure they look right. So they are very loyal to appearance. But emotionally, they won't put in that kind of effort. Spiritually, they won't put in that kind of effort. Educationally, they will not put that kind of effort. In the people they hang out with, they will not put that kind of effort. And so that indicates an imbalance in your soul. That your soul is focused on the appearance versus the actuality of who you are. So I hope that's a little thought, encouragement, or insight on friendships and loyalty. The kind of characteristics that you are looking for in a friend, you must yourself be that to yourself first. And then you'll begin to attract those people. We are attracted by the things that are in us. And so when we are those things for us, we naturally attract it. When we are not those things for us, when we are not a good friend to our own self, we will attract a bunch of unloyal users in our lives. Professional networks. If you're a professional, whatever your profession is, you could be a masseuse, that's a profession. A barber, a hairstyle, whatever it is, those are professions as well. It's not because I have a master's degree that I have a profession, or if I'm a lawyer or a doctor. Whatever your profession is, who are you connected within your professional network? Who are you gleaning from? Iron sharpen iron. Who in your professional profession are you connected to that you can reach out and say, hey, you know what? Hey, this situation happened in the job, in the business. I wanted to hear your thoughts and blah, 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 that you guys can bounce off ideas from. You need to have that. That's how you're going to grow. That's how you're going to develop. And they may have information that you don't know that you need to know that is going to build you. God don't send manna out of heaven or blessings out of heaven. He blesses us through people. So if we want to strengthen our professional life, we got to connect to the right networks. And here's the right networks. It's not all the people that have all the things that you want. It is all the people that have the character that is necessary in that profession. There is a difference between having the stuff, having I know 12 million people, versus do you even have the character for what you're doing? When I start to look at professional networks, do they share the same values professionally as I do? I don't want to just be in there because, oh, people, you might hook me up, and then we become a slave to these people. We need to find people professionally that have our same character, and they are developing and growing in the areas that we want developing to develop and grow, or they may have already reached a level you want to reach. And so you got to come in and learn from them. Okay. So your alliances, that's also kind of falling into some of your professional people. Who are you aligned to? And that's spiritually, that's relationally, your partnerships. What businesses do similar that you can partner with? What companies do provide a service you don't, that just by partnering with them, it could expand your service, expand your clientele. So if you have a business, think about those things. Okay. Friends and colleagues. So we did a little bit on the friendship. Okay. What kind of close relationship do you need to develop? And you cannot answer that question until you know what you want to develop. So it's by identifying what it is that you want to develop, can you develop the right friendships for it? So then you know the task. So if I know I'm looking for, um, uh, for example, if well, I just my mind went blank. Pretty much, you need to identify what it is you're looking for. What are you looking to develop? And then you can begin to find friends that fits the criteria, the characteristics of the place you want to be. Do you have a mastermind group? You are the natural CEO of your life. When you're sitting in your boardroom of your life, who is sitting in the conference? Who's sitting in your conference room? Who's sitting at the table? Who got a seat at the table? And what are they doing there? Sometimes we have people sitting at the table that certainly should not be there, because not only simply because they don't have the skill set. Hi, Nina, welcome. They don't have the skill set to help you. And so we have people sitting at the tables of our lives that do not have the skill set to go where we need to go. Child, I'm trying to eat too. You can't be sitting at my table. You just trying to eat too. What else do you bring to the table? Do you have something that you're going to help me develop? And so we don't have to necessarily go to people and ask people those questions, but we can assess and evaluate people before you put them in certain positions in our lives. You don't get to be my right hand man because we've been friends since we were a kid, and now I'm trying to develop my life. What is your role? What can you bring? What do you bring to my life that's going to help develop me and grow me? If you don't have anything that you bring to my life to help develop me and where I'm going, other than the history that you've always been around in my life, that is not enough for me to put you in that position. Again, that's an issue of loyalty, and that's loyalty to self. We cannot desire loyalty from anyone if we have not learned how to give loyalty to ourselves. When I put you in positions in my life that you're taking in my time and my energy, and you can't really do anything to help me grow and develop in the area that I want to grow and develop, I'm being disloyal to myself. Mastermind groups of women, men, and people that have different, like an organization, a nonprofit, they have board of directors in for a nonprofit organization who really wants to grow and be impactful. The people that are sitting on the board come from different walks of background. They have different expertise. This is the correct word. They have different expertise in different areas that is associated with the vision of the organization. So if I have an organization and part of the vision of my organization is help people develop financially, get better and be more educated financially, and I have zero person on my board that has any expertise in finances, in that area, I have no one to help push that particular vision, portion of that vision. Okay. So, mastermind groups, develop them. You are the CEO of your life. You're sitting in your boardroom. Who is sitting on your table? Not on your table. Who's sitting in the room with you? And what is their role and their responsibility as it relates to what you're trying to accomplish? Period. It's very cut and dry. It don't have room because you've been friends for like 12 years. Okay, that's fine. We can be friends, but you can't be sitting here because we've been friends. Being friends for 12 years means nothing if you don't have no expertise to bring to what I'm developing. I'll just catch you when see you when I see you. But we do a meeting now. What does your support system look like? The mastermind group and the support system. has some similarities, but your mastermind is dealing with more strategic, dealing with people that can think more strategically. All right. If like you know how some you watch some movies where they're about to rob a bank, and so they come and they sit down, they pull people that's really good with technology, people that's this, good with that, and they're sitting down and they plotting and they planning. Your mastermind group is someone who's plotting and planning for the development of what you want to accomplish. Your support group could be that friend that you had for 12 years. You know, she's been a good friend to you. She's supportive, and you know what? She's part of your support system, but she cannot be part of your mastermind group because if she doesn't have the ability to help you strategically think, she can't be part of that group. Okay. Um, then your mentors, thinking about who can serve as a mentor to you. I remember many years ago at Jubilee Church in Boston, Pastor, I remember many years ago. So Pastor, what do you call it? Um, Bishop. Bishop was talking about, I don't know what he was talking about, but I remember him saying that there's three types of people in your life. Okay. The one that mentors you, you must have it. One that mentors you, one that's on the same level as you, and one that you mentor. Oftentimes, and I know that was so in my own personal life, there was so many people I was given into. Didn't really have much people that I was that were on the same level as me, iron sharpened iron, and I didn't at the time really had people that was mentoring me or people that I even looked at as mentors. Do you know a mentor doesn't have to know that they necessarily your mentor? There are some relationships God will bless and that person will be your particular mentor. Oh, hi Paula, thank you. And hi Edison, welcome. So there are some people that are your mentors that you could be watching them on Facebook that they're doing some really inspirational, empowering thing. And every time, okay, and this is not no clap, but what I'm doing here and what I do every Monday night when we talk about these different things, in essence, they're mentoring. Okay. Some of you guys can come in here and you're hearing this information and it's like, okay, yeah, I really need to check this area of my life. That is providing you some sort of mentorship. It is not a one-on-one necessarily mentorship. It's a group and open out mentorship, but it's still meant, you can see this as a mentorship session because it's making you think a little bit different. Okay. You may have individuals that are like for this ministry, the Sandra Garcon Digital Ministry. I didn't show up out here and just decided to do what I wanted to do. I believe in spiritual covering. I believe in spiritual covering. So this ministry is not covered by Sandra. It is covered by a powerful woman of God, Prophet Doreen Jones. And so I approached, God connected me to her a year ago, into actually last year, no, 2019, connected me to her. And she has just been a mentor for me. And when I decided to do this ministry, and I was like, God, you sending me to do this ministry. Who is going to cover this ministry spiritually? And as I prayed, God sent me back to her And I spoke to her about what I'm doing and that I'm asking her if she can be a cover for me. So every now and then she'll run through here and she might not click in to see, but she's watching to hear the things that I'm saying. Am I saying the right stuff? Am I looking dressing like I should be dressing? Not all this cleavage and doing all this extra stuff and being a representation of God in this. And we meet regularly to talk about what I'm doing in ministry and to begin to train me in how I should do what I need to do. So I'm not coming out here just talking to you out of my own wisdom. The Holy Spirit is my personal private mentor. And I have Prophet Doreen Jones. I have a therapist. I have spiritual parents. I have people that are speaking into my life. There are people who could say, Sandra, I heard you said XYZ in your show. It don't make no sense. Stop. Don't do it. And I'm like, well, I started this, got not no. Those people are there to help me. So my mentors, you need to have mentors. If you don't have them, pray, God, send me people that can help me in my development of myself. Because I can promise you, all the incredible, wonderful blessings that God has for your life, you will not taste them when your character is wrong. You will not have them because God is so much more concerned about developing our character than about blessing us and giving us stuff and giving, well, I'm the this and I'm the. God don't care nothing about that. Check your character, deal with your character, find people that can the greatest prayers we can do. God, send people that I can be accountable to. People that love me and care about me, who's not jealous of my growth and my development, who can say, hey, this is what you need to be doing, and really give me some real insight and encourage me and push me along. And who's not like, well, if I push her along, then she might, steal some of my followers. No, people that can empower and impact you. Okay. Any questions? I've been doing a lot of talking. Um, and then we have four more. So the recreation and renewal, spiritual growth, and then we have two more. Let me pull it down so that you guys can see the two more. We'll probably continue those last four. Um, Financial stability, health and fitness, and personal legacy. So I put in the link where you can access the this document that was created by Cindy Trim's ministry so that you yourself can begin to think about these particular areas of development in your own life. Um, I know Ruthie, you had said you didn't you're not able to access the link. Let me put this link back in again. Um, Hopefully this one is a better one that you can get. If you didn't get that link, please let me know. I can email it out to you. If you guys have any questions, you can email me at Sandra Garcon Dejerville. So you have my name right on top. Sandra Garcon Dejerville at gmail.com. And definitely visit the website www.sandragarcondejaville.com. I do private practice. I am a licensed independent clinical social worker, and I've been doing counseling for about 10 years. And so if you are in need of counseling services, I am available we are taking new clients, but just so you know, I am private pay. I do not take insurances anymore. Paulette was here tonight. I hope if she's still here. La Roche Enterprise, is it? Paulette, you can put, if you're still here, if you can put in the information for your practice. Paulette is one of my, cover in terms of my practice. So if ever I had to be out of town and I couldn't be accessible to my clients. Paulette is who that I entrust with the people God has entrusted with me. And so ever since I met Paulette, she's just been, it was a God um, connected relationship. She has mentored me in a lot of different things, and I've mentored her in a lot of different things. So we are not, um, we don't feel like, oh, that's my business, or that's my client. We don't have that. And it is a beautiful thing that two people can be in the same line of work and we can help each other grow without any jealousy because we understand that this work is a God work. All the clients that I have are given to me by God to help them in the area God has skilled me in. And likewise with Paulette. And so you want to have people within your profession because we talked about your professional connections. That's my number one professional connection because there are practices that uh, it's a competition for no reason, but there's no competition here. So I know it's La Roche. I'll give you the number for her practice. It is, let me write, I'll type it. Actually, she might have left out for a second. Paulette Sewell, 781. Nope, that's not 781. Is it 857? 719 1059. She's a therapist and she takes insurances because I no longer take insurance, but Paulette does take insurances. So you would be in good hands with Paulette or myself. So if you want want to go through your insurances, talk to Paulette. But if you do have the $200 to pay, and I can promise you, it is not a waste of your money. I'm good at what I do because I've been anointed to do what I do. And I do a lot more Christian counseling. And so, yeah. Any questions, thoughts, comments? Next week, we'll do the last part, the last 8 parts. So far, we have talked about, let me click on it. So far, we have talked about personal identity, companionship in marriage, family. Um, we talked about personal growth, career, and we talked about networks and friends and colleagues. So next week we will do the last 4. Okay. So I appreciate your time, guys. Please share this. Um, Send this out to someone who didn't have the opportunity to come tonight. Send that out to them and have a fantastic week. You have the link. Begin working um, on your treatment goals. So going through these questions, you can begin to develop goals around these particular areas. So that and then your objectives, and then to have someone whom you are accountable to. Someone, once you've done this document and you put it together, all 12 may not be things that you're interested in working in at the moment. Pace yourself. You don't need to have 10 goals for each 10 of them. That's too much work. That would be overwhelming. Identify the area. What areas in this are foundational for you? So a great way for you to think about what goals you need to accomplish in these. You'll need to develop all of them. You don't need to develop all of them at once. You need to think and pray and talk to yourself and ask yourself, self, when I look at all of these 12 things for where I am right now in this season of my life, which ones are the foundational things that I need to focus on right now. Foundational. Because you can't go up no ladder without the first step. For some of you guys, we haven't done spiritual growth. Spiritual growth in your relationship with God may have to be your foundation. You got to revamp that one so that you can have this thing sit it in place properly. And then your finances is out of order. You may need to, okay, finances may need to be another thing that I work out in here. You may not be married or don't have children, or have children and not married, or not married, not whatever. And so that may not be what you need to work on. Your finances may be something you need to work on. They may be foundational for you. Your personal legacy can be something that you can address down the road, because you got to put these things in place before you can even think about legacy, because you just can't get on that level and not have nothing have foundational stuff, and then what you're developing and growing. Okay. So next week we will continue in the last four: um, recreation and renewal, spiritual growth, financial stability, health and fitness, and personal legacy. I task you to go on that document. Email me if you need me to email you a copy of it. That's from Cindy Strim Ministries. Um, Begin working on those particular goals yourself. Find someone that who you're accountable to, so that someone else has this document and they could be like someone who's actually going to check, like, hey Sandra, you said you was going to work on this by this time, what's going on with it? And then you're not going to be like, I'll talk to her later. It needs to be people like, oh man, that's Sandra, she's calling me about that vision plan. Okay, let me get stuff together. Okay. All right, guys, thank you again for your time. Have a wonderful week. Share this live. Send it out to some of your friends that needs to hear that. Get part one so that you can get the other half, and come back next week for part three. God bless you.